Real quick, I wanted to let you know that I'm starting a free course. It's called Pro Videos Fast, and in this course, I'm going to be sharing with you all the techniques I use to make professional quality videos as fast as possible. The core technique that I use is that I do not focus on any one program. I use a variety of tools. I basically look at whatever I've got and whatever does what I need fastest and most efficiently and most effectively, that's what I use. So I don't stick with one program. I use a ton of resources, and I'm going to share that with you. My hope is that as I share with you, if I share something with you that you're interested in, that you'll purchase it through me, or at least share this course or something like that. But I really figured that if you know how to make videos faster, you're going to be making more money faster, and you'll need more resources, and that's where I might be able to come in. So one of the first examples of this is I want to show you how I take advantage of these big bundles. You've seen them very commonly on JVZoo. They come out, there's a ton of stuff, and the question really tends to be, is it worth it to me or not? And how also when you do get them, you want to make sure that you're actually going to use them. You don't want to just get them and have them sit on your hard drive space. And so I want to share with you how I do this. I'm going to articulate the process I go through to first evaluate whether or not I'm going to grab one of these, and then how I make sure I'm going to use it. So this is Epic Video Pack 2. It came out recently. It's why I'm using it as an example. It's current. But you'll see a lot of these, and when I put this on the course, I'll be reviewing a bunch of them and just articulating the same thing I'm about to show you now, so that you can decide whether or not it's of value to you. But one of the first things I do, I try to stop the video, and it's not. Are you struggling to get and I just go all the way down and I check out the price. What is the price? That's the most important thing. So right now this is $10.95. I'm actually including a $2 coupon for this with this email anyways, and so I think it's going to go up to 17. So by the time some of you see this, it might be up to 17. But so it was with the coupon at $8.95. It's $9. So the first question I have in my mind is, can I get at least $9 of value out of it? Well, one of the easy ways that I determine that is I know that I go to a site like VideoHive a lot for stock video. And I have a very wide variety of needs, and the real value of VideoHive is that the search engine, I can quickly decide whether or not they have something. But what I do know is that there are some videos that I go to on a far more regular basis. There's types of videos that I use on a common basis. So I know that if I can find those types of videos in the Epic Video Pack, that I might already be worth it for me. So I know that the videos, if you look here, this is a $9 one, $8, $25. So if it's anywhere between $8 and $25, that's at least one stock footage is worth that. And so if it was something that I really knew that I was going to use, I would tend to guess that it would be in that higher range, $25. So if I found a zinger, if I found one that is just like, yes, for sure, I would come to this one, I would utilize it on a regular basis, then that $8.95 would be worth it to me. So I basically start to think of it like that. Now, it's not just stock footage. I use stock footage as a barometer, if you will, or a yardstick, so that I know that, okay, well, if there's something in here like that, if there's some assets that I know that I can use, then I'm going to go ahead and grab this. So because the next thing I have to ask myself is it worth it for me to take the time to sort it? Because that's what I'm going to show you later. I sort it out and I get rid of the stuff I know I'm not going to use. So let me just go to the sales page here, and what I like to do is I like to evaluate it top to bottom. But I try not to take more than 5 minutes to do it. And so, but it's going to take me a little bit longer to articulate it, so I'm not going to go through everything. But here, for example, the anchor of this product is the PowerPoint explainer videos. And just kind of looking at them at a quick glance, the characters are solid, the art is solid. I happen to know for myself, for example, that explainer videos that are in niche markets are not very useful to me. However, I've been able to pull parts of videos out. So I tend to, I've been able to take parts of explainer videos for niche markets and utilize them for more general markets. That's what I meant to say. So what I tend to do is I go ahead and watch a little bit, and I look at the quality of the video, and I start to look at the graphics and basically see if it's quality enough. And this is definitely, I think the characters are good quality animation, and right there I can stop and I can see that the scenery is good quality flat art, and this tells me several things. First of all, I know that if they're going to have animated characters later in the product, they're going to look like this. If they're going to have art in later on in the product, it's going to look like this, and so forth. And right away, this gives me confidence to continue to, look at this product, because if their anchor stuff wasn't very good, then I really probably wouldn't continue looking. But I go down, and the next thing I see is stock videos, which is what I kind of referred to before. And real quickly, what I like to do is a lot of these video players, if I hit play, it'll come up and I can start to scrub and see what they are without having to bother to see the whole video. That thumbnail might be small, but I do get a sense. And right away, when I was doing this, I saw a video clip with whiteboard on it, which is something that I do a lot of. And this one right here, to me, was the deal maker. I know that I would use something like this on a fairly regular basis because I like to do whiteboard videos, and this is something that provides some excellent contrast by shifting the focus from overhead down to like a side view. And I know that to be a very effective video technique. And so, boom, this right there, this would be, in my view, a $25 video clip, and I probably wouldn't continue looking much further. But I did, I looked a little bit further and I found a couple more clips. Like, I know that I like these scenery clips because they're generic and they suggest activity and human in this. And there's a couple of them. And so I basically started to see that, yeah, there's not only is there that money shot over there, but excuse the term, but there's more. And so I knew that I could get 3 or 4, maybe upwards of 10 video clips out of this that I knew that I would go to on a regular basis, making the product worthwhile for me. I continued down further, a little technique here, like the whiteboard SVG images I found to be very low quality and not very compelling, but there was fitness and I think weight loss. Yeah. And while I would never use these in a real presentation, I could definitely see using them as a mock-up where I might, show, hey, this is the general idea, and we'll make it better. We'll show a better style, and we would do it like that. So things like that have proven to be useful for me over the years. And SVG files are very small and don't take up a lot of space. So I would delete all the rest of these, but I would definitely keep those as a potential. It starts to be kind of like that. If I scroll down, I start to see other stuff that, the characters are good quality animations. Those are great. I would probably go ahead and save those and utilize or have them ready to be utilized because they're good quality. Here's a little tip too on these things. If they're men and women, I'm far more interested. If it's only men, you see this a lot where it's just men in the product. I tend to just that tends to turn me off. I know it turns off a lot of you. One of the things I also look for is diversity. This has a kind of more of an Anglo, whereas this is maybe more of a Hispanic. And then you have an African American, and so that's when I really kind of say, okay, this is a well-rounded, good product, and I will probably save these because it has that variety, and I really don't, care about the other stuff. Now, I do actually, care when I actually sort it. The next thing, the most important thing really is if I purchase this, the most important thing is to download everything as soon as possible. It is so common for you to, I don't know about you, but it's very easy to purchase it and then just kind of forget about it. And now for $9, it may not be that painful, but the whole point of grabbing these is to use them. And so one of the first things I do is download everything. I'm going to go ahead and pause and find the folder that I did that with. Okay, so here's that folder. And one of the things that you'll hear me refer to a lot is I have a terabyte, multi-terabyte drive. I can't remember how big it is, where I put all my media. And so I have this right here. I actually put it in my AAA art folder. This is a folder I've had for a decade or more. And it's got all my art and stock that I have been doing what I'm about to show you for years. And so what I first do is I make sure I've got everything here, and I just download it all. It's nice and ready. And I start to there's a couple ways to view things here. Some of them, like the videos, are far better to view on, if you can, on the site. But there's some things like, the static images, for example. Now the static images, let's look at that real quick. This has, that's a static background. It's fine. It's okay. You see that they're static here, and I can look at them easier. I can open this up. I can click on here, and if the thumbnail isn't big enough, at least on the Macintosh, I can go here to View Options, and I can make the thumbnails bigger. In this case, they're pretty decent. But if you are on a PC, I would recommend that you find that function for yourself, because I can look at these, and usually if there is a static version, it has a counterpart to the animation, and that can pretty much tell me, okay, well, if I don't like any of these, I can go ahead and delete the folders for the animations. In this case, I actually like them all, and so I'm actually keeping them all. And so I'll sort those into folders appropriate for what they are later. When I go into, I know that the icons, for example, let's see, where are those icons? Animated, there we go, static icons, and it looks like I failed to download animated icons, or no, they're right above it. I'm sorry, I'm blind. And so same thing though, I can go in and I can look at the static ones, and they're numbered. It's kind of unfortunate. They're not named in a way that I can use them as easily. But I open this up, and now here's a case where it's too small. So I'm going to go here to change custom and get them to be bigger. And the way I kind of look at these is I really kind of try to look at them. These are icons, so I think of them iconically. Can they communicate something that I do on a regular basis iconically? So, and also, are they just good quality enough? So, for example, a stop sign. I can see using that as a metaphor, as an icon for stopping or going, or controlling traffic. The icon for a picture here, I can imagine using it for a bonus, or the clock here for time-oriented concepts in a video, and so forth. So I basically kind of look at these, and if I don't think I can use any of them, I zap them. And it's easier to do it on a static, right here, than it is to do it for the animation. So I do everything here, and since they correspond to the animations, then I go back over to the animations and delete everything that I didn't think I would use. And that's basically how I go through things. The other ones are a little bit more time consuming. The stock video, I can do, in this case, I can do a bigger size also. And I do, it is pretty easy for me. So, for example, I really doubt that I'll ever use any swans, so goodbye swans, and and things like that. And so it does take a little bit more time with the video, but these also tend to be more worthwhile. So there is a lot of, basically, this takes probably the biggest amount of time, but it's also the most worthwhile. And so I will zap these. I'm looking at things. The fast typing, for instance, very business. That looks good to me. I'll probably keep that one. I definitely know that I will not use goats, and probably not a horse, even though I think horses are awesome, and so forth. And so I will, go through and do that. And then once I'm done, I sort these into a folder. And just real quick, I'll show you that it's really not as important. The main thing I want to show you here is my folders are named how they make sense to me, and you should do the same. So there's I don't know how many, there's at least a decade more of content here. The reason why the numbers don't reflect it is I keep moving it to new hard drives. But basically, for example, I have my whiteboard images in SVG collections. That's just how I got to where I knew it. And so when I know that I need a whiteboard image, I go to SVG collections, even though it's whiteboard. And so things like that. The point is, do it the way it makes sense to you. Mine is very haphazard. It probably doesn't look like there's any order to it, but it makes sense to me. So get your stock and your videos and everything, and make it sense to you, so that by going through it, you know that you can go back to it and utilize it when you need it. And that is how I make sure I get my value out of collections like this epic video. Pack 2, and I would basically evaluate this pack as being worthwhile. Not the best pack I've ever seen, but certainly not the worst. And so I do recommend this pack, but and I will be reviewing more of these because I have found quite a lot of value in these kind of large bundles. The key to it is taking the time to sort it. And one final tip is that the way I take time to sort these is I get on when I'm on the phone, when I'm in a webinar, when I'm watching TV or trying to go to sleep at night, when I'm stuck on on hold, tech support, and things like that. And so I discipline myself to go ahead and find the folder and sort while I'm waiting for those kinds of things. And that's how I take advantage of great packs like this.